Happy Sunday morning, everybody. Louis, you want to say hi to everybody? Louis the legend. Say hello. Big birthday party today here at the house for our grandbaby Lila. 2 years old. So I asked my daughter, Brittany, I said, Brittany, is this birthday party for you or Lila? Everybody laughed. So going to be a big time around here today. They say a little rain moving in, but I think we can beat it because it's going to start, the big party going to start at 11. All right, everybody. Last night in Peevely, Missouri at Federated Auto Parts Raceway Park, we had a slow start. We finished third in our heat race, and that lined us up 8th for the A main. It's the A main event. I think I heard that off of one of those little, games. It's the A main event. So we started 8th, and we drove extremely hard. My car was handling very well. Pulled a couple wheelies out here. The crowd was on their feet. They said, your car wheeled it up. I said, wing, 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 wing. It peeled out like John Force. Of course, I drove the shit out of it. I always tell people when my car's there for me, I look like a 20-year-old. When the car's not handling, I look like I'm 62 because that's how old I am. Finished second. Started 8th and got to second last night. So that was a really good weekend for us. Finished second at Tri-City Speedway on Friday night over there in Granite City. And then a second last night at Peevely, Missouri, Federated Auto Parts Raceway Park. All right. Yesterday, they ran the Xfinity race out there in Sonoma. Really interesting area. Kim and I have spent a lot of money. Well, I didn't mean we spent a lot of money, but we spent a lot of time. We spent a lot of time in the Sonoma winery area. We really like it. And Kim learned of some wines out there back in the day. I don't drink anything anymore. I drink zero liquor. I think about when Nick Hoffman was here a couple weeks ago, I drank some neutral, and that was okay. But we learned a lot about wine out there in Sonoma, and we've been all through those hills, and we ran a lot of NASCAR Cup races out at Sonoma. So I love that area. The racetrack's beautiful, and man, that whole racetrack is really nice, and it's got it going on. So in the Xfinity race, it was against the old man, SVG, who is not an old man, but he's way older than Connor Zilisch. Connor Zilisch, 18 years old. Now, I know about Connor Zilisch, but I don't know a lot about him. I'm assuming if I was going to do a Kenny conversation with Connor Zilisch, I don't know how long it would last because he's only 18 years old. Maybe it lasts 30, 40 minutes. You start interviewing somebody a lot older, then you got a lot more life to talk about. But this Connor Zilisch, hey, remember when I said you can tell when you're on your way out? Remember, because I said, they don't have Justin Allgaier on the Xfinity Flyers anymore. I guess NASCAR knows what they're doing. They've been putting this Connor Zilisch up front for everything. If you're in the Xfinity series, it can kind of piss you off. It's like, hey, I'm the one been here forever. I'm the one put my time in. And now they've been putting Connor Zilisch on all these advertisements right up front. Well, now we know why. Somebody in NASCAR, they knew what the hell they was doing. This Connor Zilisch does something yesterday that's unbelievable. So, well before the Xfinity race, and over the last 2 weeks, actually last 3 weeks, because Shane Van Gisbergen, SVG, we call him. He won the race at Mexico City. He won the Chicago Street Course race. He's won it all. And people have been saying we haven't seen any road course racer come along like this in a long time. So it's fair to say SVG is like the greatest of all time. That's what people are saying. Now, a lot of fans are getting jealous. They're getting mad. I've been looking at the timeline. Actually, Jeff Gluck made a post on social media saying, my God, people, because there's fans that are mad that media is giving SVG all this attention. So that Xfinity race gets rolling yesterday, and come to find out, this 18-year-old Connor Zilisch holds off and wins over SVG. Now, I got a little bit to say about it, but I want to say this. Now what? Did the people jump the gun? Because there was a lot of fans jealous that the media was giving SVG all this attention. And now this 18-year-old kid beats SVG, outruns him. I'll say one thing about this Connor Zilisch. He's an awesome kid, and I like him a lot. And I think I've told you all why I like Connor. Connor came up to me at Rockingham and asked me, Herman, I hear you were good here. How do you get around here? Of course, it made the old man feel real good, and I told him. But I'm a big Connor Zilisch fan because I've experienced time around Connor. I really like him. But I'm starting to learn some things. You know, he's part of the Red Bull Club. And Max Verstappen, who's like a 4-time Formula One champion, Max Verstappen high-fived Connor Zilisch and stopped and talked to him. So this Connor Zilisch is worldwide. Yeah, Pitbull's not the only Mr. Worldwide. Sounds to me like Connor Zilisch is also Mr. Worldwide. Respond right here. Tell me all about this Connor Zilisch. I mean, does he race all over the world? At 18 years old, it's like he's already done it all. By the way, if you've made it this far, shout out to Keelan Harvick at 13 years old, outrunning his dad. I don't care. 13 years old, quick time in the Cars Pro Stock race at Hickory. I think Keelan is awesome. Love the kid. I was just kind of waiting for him to get out of diapers. But damn, here he is. 13 years old, already outrun Kevin. Kevin said after the race, Kevin goes, he's just damn fast. So none of it's fake, anybody. None of it's fake. Keelan Harvick at 13 years old is fast, and this Connor Zilisch outruns SVG at 18 years old. Now, I want to give a shout out to SVG, too. SVG come down through the S's and basically had Connor lifted up in the ass. He had Connor Zilisch like this down through the S's, and Connor could have wrecked that damn thing at any time. And I really liked it that SVG went to Victor Lane and congratulated Connor Zilisch. I was talking to Kenny Schrader about it last night at Federated Auto Parts Raceway Park. And I said, well, that's some good Herman Schrader for us right there. So we're going to talk about SVG and Connor Zilisch and break that race down a little bit more. But I asked Schrader, I said, I wonder how come SVG just didn't wreck him like they do nowadays. Schrader was right. He said, he did everything but move him right on out of the way. And I said, he really did. I said, I was really impressed with SVG. How he kind of wheelbarreled Connor. He kind of lifted him up in the ass, and Connor stayed with it. For a minute, I forgot, and so did you. They were teammates. Connor Zilisch and SVG were teammates. They both drove for Junior Motorsports. And that's why it was really nice to see SVG go to Victor Lane. And I could tell it was pure. It was pure. You can tell when people are faking it. I like that SVG. He's a pretty good mate. from New Zealand. All right, everybody. Have a great Sunday.